Okay, so Module 5, Identity, Governance, Privacy, and Compliance. So module outline, you will learn the following concept like Azure Identity Services, such as multi-factor authentication, Azure Active Directory, single sign-on, conditional access. And here, you're going to have role-based access, resource locks, and policy. Okay. So first, Azure Identity Services. So the objective is to explain and the difference between authentication and authorization. Okay. And we need to define ano ba yung AAD. Okay, we also need to describe the functionality and usage of Azure AD. Baba ko nga yung mukha ko dyan. And describe MFA and SSO. Okay, so first of all, ano mo yun yung authentication and authorization? So what's the difference between the two? So authentication identifies the person or service seeking access to a resource. So we need to identify sinong tao yung access sa resource. Okay? In authentication, we request legitimate access credential. So what we need to provide is credential. And authentication is the basis for creating secure identity and access control principle. Okay, so dito, when you employ, when new employee comes in, they have to be providing documents, right? Like NBI, Social Security, ano pa, PhilHealth, no? So that's one way of knowing that you are a real person, na ikaw ito. No? So after that, you're gonna be created. They will create you Active Directory username, no? Based on your credentials. Okay, so that credential will be used to authenticate to our resources. Authorization is totally different. Authorization determines that the authenticated person, no, na ikaw, no, what kind of access you need, no, anong access ibibigay sa'yo, okay? And once identified, it will define which data na pwede mo i-access. Okay? So dito, credential, who you are, and dito, saan yung access mo. Okay? It's like when you bought a ticket in Cinema 2. Okay? So identified ka to be a Cinema 2 viewer. Pero wala kang access sa Cinema 1 and Cinema 3. Malinaw. So next is Azure Multi-Factor Authentication. So MFA provides additional security for your identities by requiring 2 or more elements for full authentication. So dito, normally you provide username password, diba? Pero it's not really secure kasi if someone knows your username and password, they can be able to log in. So dito sa MFA, it's something something you have, something you possess, and something you are. No, usually something you possess, yung cellphone, lahat naman tayo may cellphone, diba? So something you know, ito yung username password can be transferred to anybody. Pero yung something you possess, it's only you, ikaw lang gagamit unless someone stole your cell phone, no? So dito sa something you possess, yung multi-factor, yun nga, like Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, you need to install that apps. Tapos, scan mo na QR code, and then mag-generate na siya ng 6-digit number. That 6-digit is just a random number, now which change every 60 seconds. Next is Azure Active Directory or AAD. AAD is a Microsoft Azure Cloud-based Identity and Access Management Service. So ito yung cloud-based Active Directory ng Windows 2012, 2016, and 2019. So basic function is to authenticate. No? Let's say employees sign in to access resources. You can also use this credential for single sign-on. So instead of login sa Facebook, then login sa Instagram, login sa Office, you can use one. You might notice na when you login sa Facebook, you can open Instagram right away, di ba? No? Kasi they're using the same authentication method, no? Yung OAuth, they're using the same thing. So that's why you can single-handedly log in. No? And Active Directory is an application management which gives you, grants you rights, permissions, and role-based access. AAD can also be used to authenticate between 2 businesses, like business to business. No? Let's say yung business 1 to business 2, you will be given access to business 2, no? Once they do replication. And you can also do business to customer identity services. Let's say yung portal mo, no, yung portal mo, yung chat portal mo, you can give to other external employee. No? And Active Directory can be used to manage device such as iPhone. So when you log in sa portal office.com, install yung certificate ng organization nyo. So without this certificate, you won't be able to manage the device. So ano naman yung sinasabing device, no? Yung iPhone nga, they can be able, organization can be able to deploy latest patches. They can deploy yung permission and policy sa cellphone nyo, and they can be able to erase your whole cell phone, your mobile phone, no? So instantly, let's say if someone stole your phone, they can send the erase right away. Next is conditional access. Conditional access is used by Azure AD to bring signals together to make decisions. Okay, so they give you a signal to make decision and enforce organizational policy. So one is user group membership. If you are part of the group, okay, so let's say dito ka, no, user and location, they can be able to find out yung IP location mo. They can install application as well, and they can do risk detection. No? So once may risk, they can be able to send a signal such as format the cell phone. So conditional access can send a policy to your device. No? And you can also, your identity can also give permission to other resources. No? Next is governance methodologies, objective domains. So dito sa governance, we will describe yung RBAC. Ano ba yung RBAC? No? Resource locks, tags, policies, blueprints, and CAF. Okay, so first of all, RBAC. RBAC is short for role-based access control, meaning on a specific role. If you're part of IT, no, role niyo is IT-related role. No? If you're part of the marketing, ang role niyo is any marketing-related role. Diba? So dito, will be classified as users, applications, and groups. Okay? Sometimes usually users are part of the group. So kung wala ang group membership, it will be difficult to manage. No? So sa RBAC is more fine-grained access management, no? Na hindi ma-address sa group membership. Kaya meron ng role-based. Sa RBAC, it segregate duties within the team and grant only the amount of access to users that they need to perform their jobs, such as, let's say, help desk 1. So usually help desk 1 are not building servers. So gagawin ka ng role, probably you have the role to reset password. Pero wala kang role to install virtual machines. Wala kang role to check billing. No? Wala kang role to create network security group. Ganun na. RBAC enables access to portal. So you'll be given limited access sa portal. No? Anything that you needed lang. So that's why it's called controlling access to resources. So there's a terminology called resource locks. This will protect your Azure resources from accidental deletion or modification. Very similar to Active Directory, meron siyang protect from deletion. It's only a tick box. No? Pag naka-tick yun, nobody can delete. No? You won't be able to delete unless you go to the advanced settings. Similar to Azure, it manages locks at subscription level. Okay? So by the time nakikreate ng user account, no, bibigyan ka na ng lock agad. Hindi lang doon, you can also manage locks using group membership or individual resource level. Okay? So lock types, if you are granted cannot delete, no? So ito yan. So pag sinabing cannot delete, read, update, pero you have no power to delete. No? Kasi naka-no eh. Can you delete? No. Wala kang access to delete. Read-only is more on reading or execute permission. No? So wala kang permission na ma-delete yung file or any resources. Or update or append. Wala. No? So very simple definition. Read-only is just viewing. Okay? Viewing. Azure policy helps to enforce organizational standards and to assess compliance. No? At scale, so provides governance and resource consistency with regulatory compliance. Security cost and management. So dito, you can create your own policy. With the policy, you can evaluate and identify Azure resources that do not comply with your policy. And meron tong built-in policy na rin na you can select. Okay, you can select under different categories. Let's say storage policy, 100 megabytes only, no? Storage policy. Networking policy, you can also create, let's say sa networking policy, allow yung RDP 3389, mga ganun na. Okay, module 5 review. So we have Azure Identity Services. We discuss the difference between authentication. Authentication is credentials. It's you as a person. Authorization is the level, what level of access. Okay, so in creating identity, you can create Azure ID, AD, no, Active Directory, and to find grain AD, you have to enable multi-factor authentication. And then to make it easier for user to log in, no, instead of logging to multiple portals, you can enable SSO and conditional access. So dito, I'm gonna make a short demonstration. No, paano ba gawin? How to create the users? So portal.azure.com. So I'm gonna create an identity using AAD. So if you're gonna create identity, let's say AAD. Okay, Azure Active Directory, AAD. And then first thing you need to do is create a user. Okay. So in creating user, it's very similar to Active Directory. No? So just create user directory, and then username. Let's say may Chris na kasi dito. Ano pa ba? Say Dennis. Okay. At organization, which is a Zebras level on Microsoft. Name, let's say Dennis. Uy. Okay. So that's the display name. The first name is Dennis, last name Uy. Okay. And then you can select this one to auto-generate password and send to the user. So dito, hindi mo na kailangan mag-isip. Okay? Pero ako, gusto ko gumawa ng sariling password. Okay? And then group membership as of now 0. Job title, kunwari analyst. Okay, create. I just created the user. Ayan, si Dennis Uy. No? Dennis Uy. Okay, so select ko yan sa... I can select authentication method. No? Enable multi-factor authentication. So if I selected this, multi-factor authentication, yeah, okay. So authentication, contact info, you have to define, alternate, and then email. No? And if I want to reset the password, I can do so. I can reset from here. And we'll synchronize on-prem data center if you have connector. Okay. Group membership, as of now, wala. So I'm gonna add a membership. So add ko si Dennis Uy sa Nexus students. Okay. Select. Yan. So member na siya ng Nexus students. So if you refresh this one, did I hit? Okay. Yeah, later on siguro lalabas yan. Ilan mo basta. Ulitin natin. Nexus student. Select. Successfully added. Okay, hindi lang nagdi-display. Okay. So mamaya magdi-display yan. Okay, so that's a user. For groups naman, how do you create a group? So dito. Click groups, new groups. Let's say, so I'm creating a group type security, which either allow or deny. Okay. And you can also access Microsoft 365 group if you want to give access users that has Office or Microsoft 365. As of now, ito lang. No? So sabihin natin March 19 batch. Okay. Create group. Okay, so I just created a group. And then si Dennis Uy, add natin si Dennis Uy sa group na yon. So I selected Dennis Uy. Pasanapin mo yung groups. Ayun na yung next student. No? Kanina hindi ayaw lumabas eh. Add natin yung group, bagong group membership. Group which is March 19. Okay, so yan, member na siya ng dalawang groups. Okay, so ganun lang ka-simple. No? Roles administrator, merong pre-built roles such as if I type administrators, ayan, administrators, traitors. Yan. So if you add the user to this administrator, help desk admin, they can be able to reset password. Okay? They can be able to join device sa Azure and they can reset password. Okay? So very, very fine grain. No? If you want, let's say nag-hire kayo ng accountant or someone responsible for billing, you can select billing admin. Okay? You can select billing admin, add to that user. So billing admin, they don't have permission to create virtual machines. Okay? So very, very selective. Okay? Napakadaming built-in role and administrator. Okay? Ano pa? So let's say, let's go to the user. Let's go to device. Once you log into that device, you can be able to view which device you log in. No? Like anong operating system, no? Let's say iPhone, no? iOS, name ng device, is it enabled? And then if you're doing a MDM, mobile device management, no? And that mobile is joined users AD, you can pretty much control everything. Like delete this application, launch application, format the cell phone, no? Kung na-compromise. Okay? So ang dami. So yung user na yan, you can use, let's say si Dennis Hui to login sa ating Active Directory. Okay? Sa ating AD. Okay, any question? Any question before we go?
Question lang po.
Okay, go ahead.
Yung sa Azure Active Directory, same lang din po ba siya ng Active Directory ginagamit sa Office 365?
Ibang portal yon. So if you wanna, kasi there's Office 365 is a very huge product. Now usually if you're managing Office na, you need to go to Portal Office. Okay, you need to go to Portal Office. And then may button dito na napakadami. Na. So if you want to grant user sa Office 365, it's a different steps. Different steps yan. Pero dito, if you want single sign-on, let's say si Dennis Uy gusto mong maka-access ng Office, no? You can do so. No? Gagawan mo siya ng application level access. Okay? Okay, so maraming steps pa yon. If you want to give access to the user using access to Office 365. No? So usually sa Portal Office ginagawa yan. No?
Kasi sir, doon sa work po namin, pag nagre-reset po kasi kami ng MFA ni user, so bali, ang nagre-reset kasi namin yung actual na
user
email address ng user po.
Oo.
So kaya naitanong ko po kasi baka connected din siya sa Azure.
Pwede, once you integrate yung Office 365, yung kanina, may pinakita ko kanina, di ba? M365 user, now you can identify. So, dito ka rin magre-reset. Pwede rin yun. So, if you want to reset the password, ayun lang.
Okay. Thank you po.
And then, may synchronization delay. So, just wait for a few seconds bago mabigay yung bagong password sa user. Okay?
Oh, get it po. Thank you.
Yan. Okay, so wala na question. We're gonna move to module 6, which is the final one. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing and end this one. Huh? So I'm gonna be closing the Zoom session para ma-convert siya. Okay, bye.